guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and Wally. And I'm popping in with another little spooky tales episode. So the reason I do these spooky tales things is not to scare people, really. I know the title is Spooky Tales, but is because, I feel that it's good that we all share our unexplainable stories, that we just share these so that people don't feel so alone when they have occurrences like these, because I know that there are a lot of people who something happens, it's unexplained. Science doesn't have an explanation, their parents don't have an explanation, they don't have an explanation, and so it's like this mystery. And when things are a mystery, people tend to get pretty freaked out, because I do believe that whatever it is that we don't understand and there isn't an explanation for, people tend to be very scared of that. And so I just want people to know with like these videos that you are not alone. Those unexplained occurrences are totally normal. Like, people around the world, doesn't matter what language you speak or what country you come from, people have had a paranormal, meaning like extra normal experiences since people started communicating with each other. So, I'm just sharing them here, and hopefully it helps you to open up about your own experiences. And also, way back when I had like my scary experiences, I didn't know too much about all of that stuff because, my parents were telling me one thing, Catholic Church is telling me another thing, friends will tell me something else. Like, there's all this like information coming in, and a lot of it was be scared for the most part. I mean, not everybody told me that, but and so because I couldn't really understand what was going on, I was really scared. Nowadays, I embrace it. I'm a medium. I talk to ghosts like all the time and other energies, and so I'm okay with it because I've become comfortable working with it. I've opened up to it. But way back when, I was pretty scared. So I'm just gonna share some experiences from maybe back when I was a little scared, from when I was a kid. And then if you have some stories, hey, share them down below so that we can open up about these things and let people know that you are not alone. Let's just put it out there. Okay, so I think I want to go back to the house that I grew up in Chula Vista, back when I was like middle school, high school age. And I would tend to have the freakiest experiences at night, although stuff would happen during the day. I think at nighttime, number one, I'm already like kind of a little paranoid because the dark, but also I knew that things started getting a little crazy around 8 p.m. at my house. And so it was like 8 p.m. on, things start getting a little cray-cray. And then when you get around like 2 and 3 a.m., things are getting really crazy at the house that I grew up in. So I just want to share like maybe some bedtime experiences. So one of those, and this would happen every once in a while, but I had a roller shade, on my window. And this happened a few times. It was about 2 or 3 in the morning when my roller shade would just fly up. And it's really loud. If you've ever heard of roller shade, when somebody just kind of like a projector screen, when you pull down on it, it's meant to release it so that it can go up. And normally you want to like lift it up gently, otherwise it goes and it's like really loud. And so there was a few times where that had happened, and the roller shade just like flew up, and my clock radio would just start playing music. Because I had one of those old school like early 90s, late 80s like clock radios, so you could either wake up to the radio or you could wake up to the most of the time I preferred radio, but and my mom, she had trouble sleeping, but once she was asleep, she was like, it was so hard to wake her up. You would think that she was dead. But she would come and check on my brother and me, or my brother and I, like around around 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes at midnight, just to make sure that we were okay, so that we're all tucked in, because usually we'd kick off our covers and stuff. And so every once in a while when that roller shade would go up, she would think I did it. And so she would come in telling me to go back to sleep. And one of these instances, my mom was like, the roller shade had gone up. She heard it. She thought it was me. So she got out of bed. She went into my room. And when she walked in, she noticed that I was sitting up in my bed. And this I don't remember because I was asleep. And my mom's like, you were sitting up in your bed. And my mom's like, I was like, Tara, go back to sleep. And you just sat there. She goes, but your eyes were closed. And you were just like, and so my mom was like, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. And my mom's like, she's like, I'm walking across your room. And although your eyes are closed, she's like, you're following me like this with your eyes closed. My mom's like, I was like a little freaked out, and I was like, stop, like go back to sleep. And me, I don't remember. I'm asleep the whole time, okay? And my mom's like, she says, and so then I pulled your shade back down. And once I did that, she says, you kind of just like laid back down. And my mom's like, and she says, and I tucked you in. But that was an occurrence that I wasn't conscious for, but my mother was. So I just thought I'd share that with you. But other times that shade would go up, clock radio would go off. Also kind of freaky. Well, I mean, freaky at the time. Nowadays, I would say that there's something trying to get my attention, obviously. And nowadays, I'd probably pull some cards on it. I'd probably try to sit with the energy if I felt like the energy was bad juju. I would know how to cleanse the house. Whereas at the time, I didn't know about any of that stuff. The only thing I knew about cleansing the house was having a priest come and bless the house. Like, that's the only thing I knew, right? So there was another time, I mean, there was always like weird stuff in my freaking bedroom. Like sometimes when you'd hear, like, I would tell my mom, like, maybe we have like rats or mice in the walls. And we would have like, people come to like check for rodents. And every once in a while, there really was like a rat, like in the garage. But they never found anything in our walls. And I would hear like the scratching. I mean, I don't have anything here that makes that sound, but it's like the scratching behind the wall. And it would be right behind my freaking head, because my bed was up against the wall. So it's like my bed was like, if this was the wall back here, my bed would be up against it. There was like my window with my freaking phantom roller shade right there. There was another wall, and then the foot of my bed faced my open door. And I would never fully close my door because I would feel like things got too crazy. And sometimes my door would lock itself, which, by the way, I didn't have a lock on my door. So imagine my horror sometimes when my door would be locked, and it was, and the door was like a little bit too small for the door jamb. So there was like a little bit of light here and a lot of light underneath. So it's not like the door got stuck because it was like too big for the door jamb. It was actually undersized because my mother can't measure. And and she had cut the door out herself. And so, yeah, there was no locks on our doors. We were not allowed to have locks on our doors. And sometimes I would go and I'd try to pull on that door handle and it would be locked. And it wouldn't be until like, I don't know, my brother, who would also be like trying to get me out of my room, would just start crying. And then all of a sudden, the door is unlocked. So yeah, there's stuff like that. But another, let's see, occurrence in my freaking bedroom. And I'm pretty sure my bedroom and the sewing room upstairs were probably the most haunted rooms in the house. Joy, right? So one of those times, I had just gone to bed. So I wasn't even asleep yet, but I had just turned off the lights. I had just gotten into bed, and I was just like laying there, and I was just kind of like looking up at the ceiling, and I don't know, I was thinking whatever teenagers are thinking. And I could hear my dad in the bathroom. He was brushing his teeth because he was still getting ready for bed. And my brother, his bedtime was like an hour earlier than mine, so he was already fast asleep in his room. And my mother was in her room. I think she was already asleep. So I'm just laying there. And this had to be before we got a roller shade for my room. Yeah, so this was probably like eighth grade or ninth grade, because I think we got that roller shade when I was like in 10th grade. Yeah, I think that's when we got it. So anyway, so I didn't have anything on the windows at that time, and I actually preferred it like that because whenever I went to bed, I could see the moon outside my window, and it just seemed really comforting to me, and it helped put me to sleep. So, the moonlight's coming in, and I'm just kind of like looking, and I look on the wall over here where it meets the ceiling, so it's well, I guess it's kind of like this. And I see a shadow going across my ceiling, and it looks like it's round. So I guess it's not really like a cockroach, but it's round and it's got legs, and it's like walking along my ceiling. But it looks like it's about this big, like the body. It's like circular. So this was like a massive shadow I saw, but I was like, okay, don't panic. There's probably a logical explanation. It's probably just that the moonlight is hitting a bug in my room at a certain way that's projecting the shadow really big, because I know that when you move away from a light source or from, your shadow, like your shadow gets bigger, right? Okay, so teenage logical me is trying to be like, okay, so I want to find where the bug is in my room so I can kill it. So this thing is just like going, and it's just like walking along my ceiling, and the thing was huge, and I was like, okay, and it had like these big old antennae, like it was an exaggerated looking bug. I don't know, I was like, maybe it's a cockroach. So I try to find I know the moon is coming in from here, and I'm like trying to feel, and I'm trying to get my shadow to reflect up on the ceiling the way that bug is, so I can find the general location of the bug, right? Trying to be scientific here. So no matter what angle I put myself at, I can't, and this thing is moving very slowly, by the way, if you're wondering, like, is that bug still up on the ceiling? It was going really slow. It was just kind of sort of moving slowly across the ceiling. And I was trying to do this quickly because I didn't want the bug to get away before I could kill it. So no matter what angle I was trying to put my hands at, I couldn't make the shadow go up there. I could only make the shadow like up against the wall. I couldn't make the shadow up on the ceiling. And I was like, because then otherwise that would mean the light source was coming from the floor. And it was coming at a downwards angle. So so anyway, I'm like, okay, this is weird. And then all of a sudden my room is getting very, very cold. Like I can feel the temperature dropping in my room. And I know when I was a kid that when the temperature starts dropping in my room, like some weird stuff's going to start happening and things are going to start moving in my room, because stuff would actually move on its own, including my bed in my room. So I'm like, oh no, I don't like this. And I'm just like, bug, go away, bug. I don't know where you are. And then it like is like just moving, and it like just disappears. Like, what? So scared, I sprint out of my room. My dad's still brushing his teeth because this happened like within a matter of like a minute. And so I run into my parents' room. I'm like, Mama, wake up. And my mom's like, because like I said, she was like dead when you would try to wake her up. Like she'd be like, and I'm like, Mama. I'm like hitting her arm. Then she's like, what? And I was like, there's a giant bug thing in my room on the ceiling. And my mom's like, go to bed. And I'm like, okay. My room's really cold. Don't care. I was like, okay. So I like was standing outside my room. And I was like, I want to be able to go to bed in peace tonight. Please, I don't want to see anything else. And that's usually what my little prayer was every single night before I went to bed, as I'd be like, Jesus and God and all my angels, I don't want to see ghosts. I don't want to see weird things. Let me just go to sleep in peace. Please don't let them pull the covers off of me. Please don't let them paralyze me in my bed. Please don't move my bed. Please don't scratch behind my head, which there was always that little scratching in the wall behind my head. And the living room was on the other side of that wall. And if like everybody's in bed, and this is before we had our dog, so the dog was not scratching 4 feet up in the air. This is a Maltese, okay? So, and this is pre-dog. So, so yeah, I'd be like, please, like, no this, no that, no poking me, no, like, I just want to go to bed. And that would be my prayers. And then let's see. No, I'll share that one for later. Okay, we'll stop there for now, because I'm just trying to jump in with a few stories. But there you go. That was like, I was always, the most terrifying part of my day was going to bed at night, because I knew that that's when the scaries came out for me and for my brother, actually. That freaking roller shade, the experience that my mom had with me, which she says that was a couple of instances where she'd come into my room and I'd sit up. And my mom said it would be super creepy, because I would just be laying there and I would just be laying on my back, and she'd come into the room and I'd just be like, and then I would just like follow her with my eyes closed. And my mom was like, it was the freakiest thing. And I only did it like twice, but my mom said it like totally freaked her out. And I was like, I don't remember. And then, there was the little giant shadow bug thing, dark thing, massive dark thing moving across my ceiling. And besides, even if it was a bug, I mean, like this big, your shadow, really? And then, with my clock radio, yeah. So I'd be interested to hear your stories. Do you have any like nighttime stories where things got a little freaky at night? But like I said, nowadays, I wouldn't be, I would be like, ooh, that's kind of creepy, but I would know what to do about it. Right away I would stop, drop and roll. No, I'd stop, I'd try to connect with the energy. If I couldn't make it go away, I would have to do a quick cleanse of the house before I went to bed. But like I said, I didn't know those things when I was younger. Yeah, so, just sharing these stories, let you know, you're not the only one with weird stories out there. This is just part of being a human being. They're just, all we can say is unexplained, because we don't have like definitive explanations for these things. All we can trust really is our intuition and our instinct. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that maybe by hearing more of these stories, it becomes less scary, because now it's not just a one-off, So anyway, I will catch you spiritual homies later. I'm going to go back to petting my puma. Wally is doing much better, by the way, so I thank you guys for all your rituals and prayers and healings and everything that you guys have been sending him. It's deeply appreciated, and he is on the mend. He's not 100%, but at least he's headed in the right direction. All right, so I will catch you spiritual homies later. All right, if you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittensweightsandtarot.com. Not only do I have a lot of different readings, I also have my room and body sprays, my salves, my travel witch altar pendants, ancestral altar pendants, rainbow bridge pendants for your furry, feathery, scaly loved ones. I also have my Wally's World Oracle, which was community created and community funded. and on my bracelets and stuff like that. And I have a newsletter, which is totally free for sign up. I hit your inbox once a month on the first of every month, and that is the only time I ever email you. But it has witchy DIYs, arts and crafts DIYs, teas that I'm drinking, herbs that I'm using, crystals that I'm using, channels I'm watching, just lots of different stuff. If that interests you, go ahead and sign up. And if you want to throw a little love my way, think about joining the KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittensweightsandtarot for as little as $1 a month. It really does help out the channel so I can do more, create more for you guys, and to get freebies in the process. So like, what? But anyway, I will catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.